Alright, recapping lesson number one. As I go to open up this stuff, somehow I had saved exercise number one as a blank file. There's nothing tabbed out, so I'm pretty sure this is what I gave you for the speed picking thing. Remember, you're going to be starting at 60 beats a minute with your metronome. Play the exercise correctly just one time. You don't need to play it 3 times in a row. You don't need to play it 10 times in a row before you go up. Just play it correctly one time, and then increase it 5 beats per minute, and do it again. So I'm just going to do a few different speeds here. So this is how it should sound at 60 beats a minute. Go to 100 next. $140. $180. Yeah, stop at 200. Now, if you notice that your picking hand wants to change positions as you're going higher and higher and higher, let it happen. Kind of see what feels right to you as you go faster and faster, because sometimes you'll find that maybe different mechanics work a little bit better versus on a slow speed versus medium versus fast. So we'll get into more detail with how my picking style changes from speed to speed, but for right now, just use what muscles feel right in order to get the speed you're trying to hit. Alright, next one. So a big thing about this was making sure that you keep the motion in your fingers and not your arm. So anytime you notice that your arm is trying to rotate in order to help with the hammer-ons and pull-offs, try and freeze that arm and keep it all in the fingers there. And again, if you need to change, your position on this one to make sure that the hammer-ons and pull-offs are sounding good, do that. Right now, you're going to be in the process of learning how to use those hands and make them do what you want them to do to produce the notes that sound good. And that's the biggest thing: is do the notes sound good? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, then try and position yourself a little bit different to make them sound good. So your first and second finger for the first bar, then first and third for the second bar, and then ending with your pinky on the end here. So we've got eighth notes here. So starting with 60 beats a minute, this is what we have. I'm going to double it, 120. $160. $200. And the goal speed of 240. Okay. If you get this to 240 before the next lesson, send me an email, let me know, and I will give you the updated version of this so you can keep pushing past 240. Now let's say you get to 240, instead of just stopping there before you send me an email letting me know you're ready for the upgrade, keep going past it. So Just because you hit 240 doesn't mean you stop there. Keep going. Go to 245, 250, 255, and so on. And then let me know how fast you got, and then I'll send you the update there. So, rhythm stuff. Just going to be playing the stuff to work on, leaving out the stuff that was taken away. So, you're already doing this, what I'm about to suggest, which is very good. So you would say the rhythm before you actually started to play it, which is an excellent idea. So things to keep in mind here. I want you to tap your foot every time your metronome clicks. You're going to stay at 60 beats a minute the whole time for the rhythm stuff. So yeah, tap your foot with the metronome and only say the part of the beat that you're going to play on. So I'll do that while I demonstrate this, and I'll count these off. So if you want to follow along with the video, you can do that. I'm trying to think of anything else. You're also already doing this, but I'll say it anyway, just in case you, for whatever reason, decide to pick it differently. Every down beat will be a down stroke. Every up stroke, or every up beat will be an up stroke. So basically the ands. Every time you have an and portion you play on, where your foot comes up, that your hand's going to go up with it. So just keep a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and motion the whole time, and you basically just hit the strings where you're supposed to. You know, you're always going to be having your hand go back and forth anyway, because if you're doing 2 downstrokes in a row, well, you have to come up in the middle in order to hit that second downstroke, right? So there's sometimes you're hitting the strings and sometimes you're not. So yeah, I just want to keep that hand going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and as your foot's tapping them, it's like there's a rope attached to from your foot to your hand. Can't really see me tapping on this, so I'll make sure I nod my head, or try to make sure I nod my head when I'm doing it, so the head will kind of be the foot for the video. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4, and done. On to the next. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Done. Next. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and done. Okay. Just remember another thing we talked about, muting. So, like with these chords here, my index finger is curved enough so it's actually muting the E, B, and G strings. So I can strum all 6 strings and get really violent with the strumming there. But because my index finger is curved, it's muting those 3 strings there. So we talked about the muting when you were doing that exercise there. And I noticed that, like, it's not really happening there. But, like, hang on. Like, if you hear stuff like that ringing out when you're playing, you want to mute that. So yeah, you're basically what I mentioned with the index finger is whatever string is next to it, any adjacent string, your index finger should be muting that. So if I'm holding the B string, the index finger is touching the bottom portion of that G string, and it's also muting on the top part of the E string. So you don't want to have your finger completely on the tip. You don't want it completely flat either. It's like in the middle of almost like a 45-degree angle kind of thing. So, and then your right hand will be laying on top of all the other strings. So if I'm playing on the B string, I really just want to make sure that my palm is on the E, A, D string. If it's on the G string too, that's fine, but as long as it's on those other 3 strings, then that's going to be very helpful, especially when we get to stuff like that. Because when you're doing, you know, the finger tap and stuff, when you're pulling off this way, you're going to be hitting the next string. I don't like finger tapping this way. And we'll be getting into why, but this is one reason right here. You won't be able to play stuff like that very fast. What else was I going to say about that? Yeah, pulling off when you go to the lower strings like this versus the E string. The E string, you don't have to be as accurate with your muting, because when you pull off here, there's no string to hit after this E string. There's nothing. But here, yes, there is something to be muted. You're going to hit that E string when you pull off from the B string. So if I'm not muting correctly, I'm do it over here where it sounds more obvious. So you can hear that E string ringing out when I'm pulling off. It could be kind of a cool effect, but we don't want that. So yeah, if you're muting correctly when you're doing those pull-offs, you won't hear that E string. There, I'm not muting worth a damn. Here, a damn it is. So yeah, I think that covers everything we discussed. If you have any questions before next time, please let me know. But yeah, I'll see you Friday.